In a recent poll by Merdeka Center, as reported by Straits Times, interestingly, shows that only 31% of Malay voters is satisfied with the government. Do you think this would affect Najib and his cabinet?
Not for now, yeah. And that is why the only thing that can happen is, number one, will there be a vote of no confidence? Okay. Number two, would there be a real revolt within the party? Yeah. For now, I would say revolt from the party is almost, I'm not hoping for any revolt from the party. I don't see it coming. Even if it is coming, it's going to come in a certain manner. You will have to wait perhaps until the UMNO Assembly at the end of the year. But again, UMNO Assembly is well orchestrated. Speakers are chosen to represent the state by the state liaison chairman. State liaison chairman are, of course, the president's men.
Yes.
They are appointed by the president. And then you will have Hisham as the vice president looking after the usul, the motions.
Yes.
And then you will have briefings. Some state liaison chairman also brief their speakers, you know. I remember I used to speak representing Pahang in early 2000 twice. My chairman wants to see the text of my speech. Yeah.
Did you let him see it?
Well, I'm being fair by letting him see, and fortunately for me, Datuk Sri Adnan is a gentleman. He saw it. He said, well, he made some comments, but he basically.
What sort of
approved.
Comments?
Well, Adnan is quite fair, I must say. He simply said, look, if you want to quote the Quranic verses, quote it in full, don't quote it in half. But he has no objection.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But I do not know what happened to other speakers. To what extent do the chairman of the state liaison actually look at their speeches? I know some are veterans, some are seasoned politicians, and they've spoken many times at the assembly, and the chairman of the state liaison may just let him or her go and without actually looking at the text. Maybe I was a junior at that time.
So maybe can I actually conclude that this is a party could only speak the same language?
Well, loyalty, cohesiveness is premium in UMNO. So if you speak slightly different, then you're considered, like, what the hell is this fellow talking about?
Do you think this is going to happen in Keadilan?
Well, to the best of my understanding, in Keadilan, their annual general meeting can be very interesting. People tend to be very candid. They speak up their mind, they at least from my understanding, now I'm still a novice in Keadilan, but at least I know if A doesn't like B or B doesn't like A, you know exactly why they don't like, based on what issues, rather than, this is Camp A and this is Camp B, and you don't really know what is the difference between Camp A and Camp B, yeah?
Oh, okay. This is very interesting because I've just passed one question just now. A viewer by the name Raikkonen Lee, he asked, how do you think you can contribute to Pakatan to PKR Keadilan or Pakatan Harapan?
Well, I can't be, I can't be saying this is exactly how it's going to happen. As I said, I'm still a novice. But when it comes to political reform and institutional reform, I think I may be able to contribute in a certain way. For instance, looking at the youth issues, looking at I've given example of how do you do local government. If you cannot do local government election, there are perhaps some other ways of doing it. And more importantly is on public policies. I just give you two examples. One is the civil service. Remember those days when our civil service was really, well, if not top in the world, it's really one of the top in this region. Where are we now? Look at the education system.
For people in our generation, we don't really live to witness that.
I can just tell you that there was a time when our civil service was really one of the best in this region. And I'm sure you know there was a time when our schools were really great. And I think we can bring that glory again. We can bring back those glories, and of course, it's not just about celebrating old glories, but also to actually go forward and improve things. Yeah, and these are not rocket science. There are ways of doing it. First of all, is of course to empower the civil service and the teachers, and stop having this policy changes like every time you wake up in the morning there's a new policy. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Dato, you have shared a lot of very valuable insights. I think we have this viewer. Her question would be a very good note to end our show today. Her name is Pham Zifong. Her question is, in the coming general election, the 14th general election, do you think it's possible that we could change the guards in Putrajaya and for Pakatan Harapan to take over as the new federal government?
In 2008, people don't expect that BN will lose its two-third majority.
Yes.
In 2013, people never thought that BN would lose the popular vote.
Yes.
It's almost there already.
You think so?
Yeah, it's almost there. Of course, we have to put out. Now I say we because I'm in opposition. Of course, we have to put our house in order. We have to, streamline certain things. We have to come up with better policies. I think Penang and Selangor can do a lot of. Will play a pivotal role in showing to the people that we can actually govern. Once given the opportunities. And if you look at the Auditor General's report, some of the things that Penang and Selangor have been doing is quite interesting and have been, the reports have been very, very positive, and the people are ready. And yes, if we have a better buku jingga, and if we can convince the Malays that it is okay not having UMNO in the leadership.
But without PAS in this coalition.
Well, nothing is stopping Pakatan Harapan from talking to PAS.
Again.
I believe that the leadership at certain level are already talking among themselves.
But then this will bring us back to the hudud, to the secularism of the nation again.
You see, to me, when it comes to hudud and secularism, what is most important for Pakatan Harapan is really looking at Islam as the mercy to all. Yeah, hudud is, to me, one important issue that we must find ways to resolve. But beyond that, because we must remember, hudud is not everything about Islam. It is a small percentage of what Islam is all about. There are more, urgent priority matters about Islam, like how do you govern as a Muslim leader? That is much more important. How do you celebrate and uphold the supremacy of the Constitution? That's Islamic. You don't have to declare the Constitution as Islam. How do you celebrate and uphold freedom of religion, which is enshrined under Article 3 of the Constitution? It's part of Islam. No compulsion in religion. So we have to honor it. We have to bear responsibility, and I think there are ways and means of doing it.
It is interesting because that's what you raised Constitution as the basis of all the political struggles or whatever. Because I interviewed Jamal earlier on, Jamal Yunus. He used the same thing as the Constitution. The Constitution seems to be like a weapon for both sides of the divide.
Depending on how you look at it. I think from the Pakatan side, it is quite clear that there are three issues here. Number one, you have to ensure that you interpret the Constitution fairly and correctly.
Yes.
Number two, you ensure that all laws are constitutional. So you have to go away with the draconian law. I'm sure Jamal have a different view about SOSMA and POCA and POTA, even the Peace Assembly Act. Yeah. So I think on our side, we are very clear. go away with all the draconian laws. Make sure you uphold rule of law. Yeah, make sure laws are all constitutional. And number 3, we must prevent rewriting of the constitution through backdoor channel. I think Jamal didn't see it that way. Yeah, so yes, upholding the supremacy of the constitution is what both sides are saying. But I think the rakyat have also to ask both sides, what do you really mean? Do you tweak the constitution? You say supremacy of the constitution, but you interpret it so that it means supremacy of a certain race, which I don't believe in? Yeah? Or do you say supremacy of the constitution in the real sense of the word, which I believe in? So there are 2 ways of looking at the constitution.
Okay. Yes. Well, you're very optimistic about things, about the federal government and how the 14th general election will turn out to be. I think this is a very good note to end our show today. Thank you, Datuk, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. 各位观众朋友，感谢大家今天晚上的收看。至于纳豆赛夫丁呢，它是宝还是草，就留由大家去判断。不要忘记收看我们明天的重播。谢谢，晚安。